on, guys? It's your boys, Frogan Reactions here. My name is Logan.
And my name is Francesco.
And in today's video, we are going to be discussing about the iPhone 12 comparison between the iPhone 12 Pro, iPhone 12 regular, and iPhone 12 mini.
Yeah, we're going to be comparing all those. We're going to be comparing all the phones, 12 mini, 12, 12 Pro, and 12 Pro Max for you guys. So you can find out all the details you need to know. And let's get right into the video. Here we go. So we did not film the our recap for the October event because we were off for a little bit because of our school, and we thought there really isn't a point in filming that because you probably already know what's happened. You got the HomePod Mini, you got new iPhones, and that was it. That was the October event, and you already know that. But we thought let's make this helpful for people. We're gonna film a comparison video to compare the iPhone 12 mini, 12 Pro, and 12 Pro Max, so you can get a better decision on what phone you should buy, or even if you should upgrade at all, because the iPhone 11 is still pretty good. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start here. We got the iPhone 12 mini, 12, and 12 Pro, and then we'll go through this comparison, and then we'll switch sometimes between the 12 Pro Max and the 12 mini. So first of all, let's look at our color options. On the 12 and 12 mini, they're the same. You got black, white, product red, which in my opinion, if you take a look at this, looks more of a coral, like an orange, pink. Doesn't look so much of red this year. And then you got green and the new blue. The 12 Pro has silver, graphite, which is new this year, gold, it's a little bit of a different gold this year from last year, and a new Pacific blue. So let's get started. These are US prices here. We have the US prices listed on the screen, and now let's take a look at the quick look. So the 12 mini has a stunning small 5.4 inch Super Retina XDR display. 12 and 12 Pro share a 6.1 inch Super Retina XDR display. And if we change to the Pro Max has a 6.7 inch Super Retina XDR display. Massive compared to last year's 6.5 inch iPhone 11 Pro Max. They all have 5G this year, which is big for the iPhone. They all have 5G, every phone on the iPhone 12 lineup. This was big for Apple, and now you can use 5G on an iPhone. The cameras, nothing much has changed. You got your ultra wide and telephotos on the Pros, and no telephoto on the regular. And special this year is Dolby Vision HDR video at 60 frames per second on the Pros and 30 frames per second on the regulars. That's new. Dolby Vision. Dolby Vision is what they record movies in. When you go to the movies, you know how you have that option. Or you want to watch in Dolby Atmos 3D, Dolby Vision. That's what this is. And now this is the world's first ever smartphone to record in Dolby Vision. This is a huge leap forward. And then you have a 2x optical zoom range on the 12, 4x optical zoom range on the Pro, and the Pro Max gets a 5x optical zoom range. The Pros get LiDAR scanners for better night mode portraits, faster autofocus in low light, and next level AR experiences. The regular 12s do not. And if you're wondering where the LiDAR scanner is, let me go back to the images here. As you can see, there's a blue dot right under one of the cameras on the Pros, but on the regular 12, that blue dot isn't there. That's the LiDAR scanner. They all have the fastest chip in a smartphone, A14 Bionic chip. The 12 Pro Max has up to 20 hours of video playback. The 12 and 12 Pro have the same size battery, up to 17 hours. And the 12 mini has up to 15 hours of video playback. They all have Face ID. They all have the front ceramic shield, which is super durable. I've watched many videos about that, and it's actually pretty durable compared to last year's. A 4 times better drop resistance. Aerospace grade aluminum on the 12s and surgical grade stainless steel on the Pros. You got a Stunning new water resistant up to a depth of 6 meters for up to 30 minutes. Last year's previous was 4 meters and 30 minutes. It's compatible with the new MagSafe chargers, all the 12s. You can use the MagSafe chargers with older phones too. It's just they don't have the magnet, so it won't stick on and won't stay on the other older phones. And also, there's been some tests, it won't charge as fast. The 12s do charge faster with MagSafe. Older phones don't. The 12 start at 64, 128, and 256. The 12 Pro gets 128, 256, and 512. Displays we already talked about. They have HDR displays this year. They all have OLEDs. Every single 12 has OLEDs. Unlike last year, has the regular 11s had liquid retinas. Now they all have OLEDs. Most of the rest of the stuff is the same. Size and weight, those are the dimensions on the screen. We already talked about that. We already talked about the A14 Bionic chip. Let's talk a bit about the cameras here. So, you got the 12 mini and 12 both have a dual 12 megapixel camera system, both ultra wide and wide. The ultra wide has an f2.4 aperture and the wide has an f1.6 aperture. The 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max, however, are different. The 12 Pro, actually, I'll switch this for you here so it's better to look at. There we go. And the 12 Pro has an ultra wide, wide, and telephoto. The wide and ultra wide are the same on the 12, and the telephoto has an f2.0 aperture. The 12 Pro Max, however, is a bit different. On the telephoto, it has an f2.2 aperture. They all have night mode, they all have deep fusion. The 12 Pro, however, has a new format called Apple Pro RAW. It's what you can use to record Dolby Vision and HDR video, which is very high end. Only the pros get that. The 12 has optical image stabilization, OIS. The 12 Pro has a dual OIS, and the 12 Pro Max has a sensor shift optical image stabilization. So I'm going to show a little animation here. It's a bit different. Last year, the lens itself, camera, had the stabilization. This year, it's the sensor that's move around to stabilize the shot, which is going to make it much better for stabilization in video. The optical zoom, you get a 2x optical zoom out in the 12, a 2x optical zoom in and out on the 12 Pro, and a 2.5 optical zoom in on the 12 Pro Max, a 2x optical zoom out. So that means that you have a 4x optical zoom range on the 12 Pro and a 5x optical zoom range on the Pro Max. You have digital zoom up to 5 times on the 12, digital zoom up to 10 times on the 12 Pro, and digital zoom up to 12 times on the 12 Pro Max. Now, just to let you know, the difference between optical zoom and digital zoom is when you're optical zooming, that means that the lens itself has the capabilities to zoom and still maintain the exact sharp image that you had fully zoomed out. It's still perfect in focus and sharp. When you do digital zoom, you zoom in a lot, but it gets very, it's not sharp. Like when you zoom in all the way on a phone, you notice how the video starts to lose quality. That's when you start doing digital zoom. Optical zoom is when it's still good quality. So night mode portraits are new to the 12 Pros. The 12 does not have that. And it has Smart HDR3 for photos. Video recording this year, they all have 4K up to 60 FPS like last year, 1080p up to 60 FPS. They have HDR Dolby Vision video recording, first ever in a smartphone like I mentioned before, up to 60 FPS on the Pros, 30 FPS on the 12s. You have extended dynamic range on up to 60 FPS. Like I said about the image stabilizations, I talked about the cameras. Everything else is pretty much the same. The front camera, all the front cameras have the exact same across the line. They all have 4K recording too. And obviously you have 5G and sub-6 gigahertz networks and millimeter wave, which is, let me tell you about this. I'm going to show a picture on the screen here. There's a little section on the side of the 12s this year, and people were wondering what that was, and it's actually the millimeter wave antenna band. So 5G has is a bit different. regular 5G in sub 6 gigahertz is very similar to 4G, which is LTE, which you all have now. And in some areas, 5G can actually be worse than 4G because of the coverage. Other areas, 5G will be better, and some areas it's similar. It's all depending on how many towers are in your area, how powerful. It's all depending on the carrier and where their towers are placed. But millimeter wave 5G is special. It's a special type of 5G. That little antenna band on the iPhone 12s across the line is the antenna for the millimeter wave 5G. But that's only in the US. I'm going to show you a picture here of the iPhone 12 that ships to Canada, Europe, Asia, India, Australia, all the other places in the world that you buy an iPhone 12 doesn't have this antenna band. But in the US it does, because millimeter wave is only in the US, and it's a special type of 5G where you can get gigabit speeds of 5G. There have been numerous videos where they test and they get up to 1 gigabyte, which is 1,000 megabytes download speeds on 5G. That's millimeter wave. Millimeter wave is also special because if you're inside like a house or you're in the basement, but you have millimeter wave capabilities, it probably is not going to work because it can't get through walls very good. It starts to lose connection as it goes through walls because it's still very new. So if you want to use millimeter wave, you have to be open in the air and you have to be very close to a tower, or else you're not really going to get that 1 gigabyte download speed, as they say. And that's only available in the US. Anywhere in the world, any other places in the world don't have this on the phone because they don't have those towers in the other places of the world. So yeah, that's 5G. Everything else is the same across the line. So that's everything comparing the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max and 12 Mini, as said before, which is a very small phone. So yeah, so that's it for today's video, guys.
If you want to like, comment, subscribe,
hit the notification bell,
and let us know in the comments, what do you think about the iPhone 12? Do you think it's a good thing or a terrible thing that just looks like the iPhone 11? Let us know down in the comments.
What are your thoughts? And are you getting any of these phones? I mean, I'm trying to get one. It's very hard because stock is limited, but if we can acquire one, I mean, at this point, if I were to order one, it would be in November by the time I get one. So if we get one, we'll definitely do an unboxing on the channel and show you everything. We'll do tests, all that stuff with the phone, camera tests, cellular tests, 5G, everything if we can get that phone. So subscribe and stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next video.
Peace!